Welcome to the Grow Strong Leaders podcast. I'm your host, Meredith Bell, and I interview business leaders who are committed to their own growth and the development of everyone on their team. If you enjoy my podcast, be sure to subscribe and rate it on your favorite podcast platform. This solo episode is dedicated to my mother, Doris Melancon, who left this world on May 19th at the age of 97. She lived an incredibly full life, and I think you'll be inspired hearing about her impact. As I reflected on the beautiful, powerful leader that she was in our family, the phrase quiet leadership emerged. She was an incredibly strong and quietly influential woman. Now, you need to know that Mom would have scoffed at the use of the phrase quiet leader to describe her. She didn't view herself as a leader. She simply lived her life devoted to her family, her church, and her friends. And yet, since my father's death in 2012, she had emerged even more strongly as the matriarch of her family, where she was the mother of 6, grandmother of 10, and great-grandmother of 11. And so I believe quiet leader is a way of capturing who she was in this world. I want to honor her by sharing the reasons why. First, Mom was humble. She didn't want to be in the spotlight or take center stage. No, her way of being was to be of loving service to her family and everyone lucky enough to know her. I never once heard her boast about her accomplishments or contributions. She took great joy in shining the light on others. She was the rock of our family, providing a calm, loving, and stable presence throughout our growing up years and into adulthood. Her deep faith in God guided everything she said and did. She taught us through her way of being the values that we each live by today. This ripple effect is felt not just within our family, but everyone we come into contact with. Mom was also unconditional love. No matter what we did, we knew she would be there to support us. Mom allowed us to make choices that might not be in our best interest, but she was at our side, whatever the consequences. We felt her love, never her judgment. Mom was wise. Friends and family alike sought her counsel. They valued the way she listened. She never tried to push her opinion. Others knew she would simply provide a thoughtful, well-reasoned reply. And Mom was generous. Over the years, she made significant financial contributions to causes that provided relief to the needy. She was also generous in her time devoted to the community. After they moved to Gloucester, Virginia in 1988, she became a volunteer at the hospice and then with the hospital. She was active in her Bible study group, the choir, and other women's groups at the church. And our parents' generosity extended to the entire family. Starting almost 40 years ago, they funded a family reunion every 3 years. They paid for a big house and all the food so we could enjoy time together at the beach. They always said it was the best investment they had ever made. After Dad died, Mom continued to host these reunions as a way to maintain and strengthen family ties. She enjoyed watching the multiple generations cook and eat meals together, swim in the ocean and the pool, and play games together. The last reunion was in 2022 when over 40 family members gathered to visit and celebrate family. Mom felt deep joy in seeing all of us together. And finally, Mom was the epitome of patience and calmness. Thinking back to my growing up years with 5 other siblings, I can only recall a few times my mother showed frustration or exasperation with one of us. And I can tell you, every one of those situations warranted such a reaction. What's even more remarkable is that she had to manage this large group on her own quite often because Dad's work required frequent out of town trips. Sometimes he was gone for 2 weeks. She provided stability and consistency that allowed each of us to grow up feeling secure and loved. These strengths of calmness and patience were on full display during the last months of my father's life. Almost on a daily basis, Dad's ability to do things for himself diminished. This proud, self-reliant man was reduced to utter dependency for every aspect of living. Mom sensed his frustration with this loss of independence, and she consistently spoke to him with compassion and love in her voice. After 64 years of marriage, she understood her husband to the core, and she was totally committed to making sure his final days were filled with as much love and positive interaction as possible. No matter what Dad requested or tried to do, she maintained that calm, reassuring presence that I'd witnessed all my life. I'm sure there were times that she was scared, exhausted, and overwhelmed, but the face she showed Dad was one of support, tenderness, and serenity. My mother was a treasure in this world. Her gentle leadership will continue to be felt by future generations as we strive to live daily into the values that she modeled for us. In 1903, James Allen wrote a book called As a Man Thinketh. Back then, all the references were masculine, with man and he. I've adapted these words from his chapter on serenity as they beautifully capture Mom's essence and spirit. The calm woman, having learned how to govern herself, knows how to adapt herself to others, and they in turn reverence her spiritual strength and feel they can learn from her and rely upon her. The more tranquil a woman becomes, the greater is her success, her influence, and her power for good. The strong, calm woman is always loved and revered. That was my mother. Thanks for tuning into my podcast. Now head over to growstrongleaders.com and check out the powerful tools we've created to help leaders strengthen their character and communication skills. Until next time, I'm Meredith Bell.